Never Stop Learning, week 252. We're going to take a quick look at the gradient editor in Adobe Photoshop CC 2015. All right, so a couple weeks back, we took a look at the gradient tool. So now it's time we take a look at the gradient editor. I'm going to hit the G key on my keyboard. That's going to activate the gradient tool. Over here at the top in the options bar, I'm going to click on the gradient, which is going to bring up the gradient editor. Over here at the top, we have these presets, and basically these are great starting points. Every time I click on a new preset, you're going to see that the information over here towards the bottom is going to be updated. All right, over here at the top, we have this gear wheel, which is going to show us some additional options. Back in the presets, I'm going to click on this black and white. Notice the name is updated over here. All right, so over here it says gradient type. For this video, I'm going to stick with solid. You could actually click on this drop-down menu and choose noise. If you'd like to see a video on this, please leave me a message in the comments. Once I get about 5 requests or so, I'll go ahead and make a video on that. But for now, I'm going to come back over here and go with solid. All right, next we have smoothness. By default, it's set to 100%, and the smoothness is actually dealing with the smoothness of the transition between your starting point and your end point. So if I come in here and I back off on the smoothness, we're actually going to start to see those stair-stepping transitions or banding that needs to happen for us to have the transition between your starting point and your end point. All right, so I'm going to leave this set to 100%. That way I get a nice smooth gradient. All right, so over here you're going to see we have a preview of what our gradient's actually going to look like. Now we have these different stops. That's what these squares are called. And there's different types of stops. All right, at the top, we have opacity stops, and those are going to control the opacity for your starting point and your end point. We could also add additional stops in between. Down at the bottom, we have color stops. All right, so here we have the starting color stop, and over here we have the ending color stop. All right, for each one of these, we also have these diamonds, which are the middle points. So this is my middle point of my color stops. If I target my opacity stops, then I have the midpoint of my opacity stops. Each time that I target a different one of these features, down over here in the stops section, you're going to see the information is going to be updated. Currently, I have my color stop targeted, and it's the starting position. If I come over here, this is the ending position color stop. All right, at the bottom it shows me the color. So when I click on that, it's going to bring up the color picker. I'm going to hit cancel to get out of that. Next we have location. At 100%, that's our end point. At 0%, that's our starting point. Over here it shows us we have the option to delete these stops. Now I'm going to add an additional stop so we can see how this works. All right, over here I want to add an additional color stop, so I'm just going to click on the bottom section. Now I want to add an opacity stop, so I'm going to click over here at the top position. Now you can tell which one's targeted because we have this triangle and it's filled in with black. All right, so down over here under stops, I'm going to hit delete, and we've deleted that opacity stop. I could also come in here, grab the stop and drag away and then release, and that's how I can quickly remove that stop. All right, I'm going to make a quick edit by double clicking on my color stop in the starting position. That's going to bring up my color picker. I'm going to switch this guy over to blue and then click OK. Now I want to change the opacity. So I'm going to click on the opacity stop and bring the opacity down to 35. All right, I'm going to give this a new name. I'm going to call it 35 blue. Over here I'm going to click on new, and now we have a new preset loaded over here for our presets. And there you have it, folks. That's a quick look at the gradient editor in Adobe Photoshop CC 2015.